The Arcadian is an arena located in Solution 9. There, the fighters use feral beast souls to increase their strength and shift their appearance during their fights. Using the regulators, they can pretty much fight to the death without risk of permanently dying. The Arcadian was opened shortly after the end of 7.0. We were then recruited to take part in the upcoming tournament by Metem, who is both the announcer and handler of the Arcadian. The tournament is split into 3 tiers: the light heavyweight, the cruiserweight, and finally the heavyweight, which we expect to be in 7.4. As we don't use regulators, we are instead allowed to use 7 souls of former champions to assist us during the fight. As canonically, the Warrior of Light is opposed to using the souls like this. Metem does agree that after every fight, the 7 souls fighting with us will be released. And if we win the whole tournament, then we can do whatever we want with all of the souls within the Arcadian. So with that, we agree to take part in the fight. Our first fight was against Black Cat, and then our second against Honeybee Lovely. It was after the second fight that Black Cat, whose name is actually Jana, offered to become our second. We learned that after losing a fight, the combatants can't fight for a while, and she is curious how we can fight so fiercely without using a feral soul. A second is someone who helps us research the fights and supports us during training. And as we don't know the fighters but Jana does, she is actually perfect for this role. As we go to Jana's gym, we get to know a little bit more about her and her family. First of all, she has 2 sisters, one younger and one older. They were orphaned some years ago when their parents died out on a hunt. Their parents are originally from Turali, and they did not want to wear regulators after becoming trapped in the dome. So, when they died, they didn't come back. Because they were not wearing regulators, the girls do remember them, but their deaths is partially what has influenced the girls to wear regulators now, fearing losing one another. Jana's younger sister is named Niuni, and she spends most of her time in the gym, and is quite persistent that her sister should wear regulators, and we should probably think about it too. They also have an older sister named Eutrope, but she went missing some years ago. She was a fighter in the Arcadian, and went under the name Wicked Thunder. She was quite popular and was about to be immortalized, but then she went missing. When we ask about what it means to be immortalized, Jana explains that it is the highest reward for any contestant in the Arcadian. Feral souls take a heavy toll on the body, so the Arcadian fighters retire young, and Eutrope was just about to reach that stage. When they retire, they get immortalized, which just means they're allowed to live up in the higher level of Everkeep in the lap of luxury and comfort. But Eutrope never reached that stage. Just before she was about to be immortalized, she vanished, and nobody knows where she went. But luckily for us, we will find out soon enough. Our next fight was against Brute Bomber, who cheated during the match, and yet we won against him. After the fight, he wanted to attack us again, but just as he was about to do that, he got struck unconscious by a bolt of lightning, and the lights in the arena cut out. When they come on again, Eutrope is standing there, and she has returned with one purpose: to fight us, and by winning, getting our soul. Now, Metem points out she doesn't have the right to fight in the Arcadian, but the president of Ascension Arcadia, which owns the whole Arcadian thing, allows it as an expedition match. So we start preparing. And while we do end up having to fight Wicked Thunder, we do end up winning. We do get a chance to talk to Eutrope as he goes to meet her sisters, and there we learn the horrifying truth of the Arcadian. There is no immortalization, at least not in the way that it has been explained to us. The reason fighters retire young is that excessive use of feral souls causes a disease called psychonecrosis, which causes the user's own soul to degrade, leading to death. Those who are immortalized are not taken to a life of luxury, but instead to a secret facility where the regulators are removed and they are confined until they die. Which is why no one has ever met those who were immortalized, but they also remember them. Because if they die without the regulator, the system doesn't know they are dead and doesn't know to erase those memories. Eutrope tells us that during her fighting, she started noticing the condition in herself. She wanted to get the counsel of those immortalized, so she snuck into the president's office to find out where they were living, only to discover the truth. Knowing her fate was sealed, she made herself disappear so she could not be taken to the facility, and instead she went out searching for a cure. And she found a theory that if she were to obtain a soul dense enough, it could cure her psychonecrosis, which is why she wants our soul, as it is denser than any other soul on the source. As he explains this, and poor Jana begs her sister not to do this, we learn that Metem has been listening in. We are ready to stop him from tattling on us, but he tells us that he overheard everything, and he genuinely did not know the truth about what happened to those immortalized, or the disease. He always thought the fights were safe. So at least for now, he seems to be on our side. He explains that we can't come out with this information right now, as it would put everyone in danger. The president would just cover it all up. So instead, we must become the Grand Champion to gain access to all of the souls in the repository, so we can release them back to the Ethereal Sea, and hopefully find a way to take down the Arcadian as a whole. But while we are safe for now, there are many more fights to come, and so it is time for the second part of the Arcadian. We meet up with Jana and Neuni, who have been researching psychonecrosis since our last match. Like Eutrope, Neuni has a good sense of electrope technology and has been working with the people of Oblivion, and they have made some discoveries. It turns out the military has for some time been aware of the issues that come with using feral souls, but they kept the existence of psychonecrosis hidden. Still, they did develop a method to diagnose those already inflicted with the disease, even if the symptoms are not too far gone yet. So our first goal will be to diagnose and warn the fighters about the disease. But to avoid getting kicked out of the tournament, we will only talk to the fighters we have already bested, who are therefore not allowed to fight for some time anyway. This way we won't be causing them to withdraw before fighting us, and therefore messing up the tournament and pissing off the president. After all, our larger goal is still to become Grand Champion and release the souls held within the Arcadian. So the first fighter we speak with is Honey. Luckily, we confirm she shows no signs of the illness yet, and she immediately decides to retire from fighting altogether. On the other hand, Jana has been using her feral soul so much during training that she is on the verge of psychonecrosis. Just one more use might tip her over the edge. So the safest choice for her is just to not use the feral soul anymore. Our other fighter to talk to is the Brute Bomber, who turns out to own a lot of kittens, and a blonde Mikote friend, who turns out to be the current cruiserweight champion, the Howling Blade, and Eutrope's ex-boyfriend. It is notable the Howling Blade does not wear a regulator. Apparently his parents did not believe in it, so he chooses not to wear one outside the ring. The two have apparently been friends since childhood, generally getting into mischief together, struggling to keep down a job, till they were found by the president of the Arcadian, who took them in and made them the fighters they are today. And this has left them fully loyal to the president, which gave them the life they have now. And predictably, after the Howling Blade leaves and we explain the situation to the Brute Bomber, he refuses to believe it. Even if his soul already shown sign of psychonecrosis, even with the symptoms already being quite alarming, he does not want to hear it and throws us out. And while our plan was to not let the Howling Blade know about the psychonecrosis just yet, he was in fact eavesdropping outside the door, hearing everything we told his friend. But with this, it is time for the cruiserweight matches. We meet the other two fighters of this tier. First we fight Dancing Green, a disco dancing, fighting, feral soul of a toad. He is known for dancing the day and night away, and it shows in his fight, which is my favorite of this series, as he intertwines the disco into his mechanics. After him, we face Shukarayad, an artist using the soul of a pudding of all things. She uses her art to change the battlefield, creating a visually fun fight. After the fight, we gather the two fighters to explain psychonecrosis to them and test them for the illness. Luckily, neither is sick yet, though both are dangerously close to the edge, and one more use of their feral souls might just push them over it. Luckily, both are willing to retire. Dancing Green admits he has gotten a bit tired of keeping up the persona of the constant party animal. Dancing has slowly become a chore instead of the passion it used to be, so he's hoping to find that passion again. While Shukarayad is sad to lose access to her ring where she has been making so much amazing art, she is still eager to return to what she used to do, which was decorating the entire city. So overall, it is good news. And the last good news we are going to be getting for a while. After we return to the gym, we see a broadcast of the Brute Bomber, directed straight at us. He is challenging us to a rematch, but this time he has stolen multiple unregulated feral souls, and he plans to use all of them during the fight. Metem comes to us furious over the fact that we told the Brute Bomber about the disease, feeling we pushed him over the edge. Apparently, Brute Bomber took this accusation of ours straight to the President himself, who sanctioned a grudge match between us on the condition that the Brute Bomber would inject himself with multiple feral souls. The President is desperate to get rid of us, and it seems he is willing to sacrifice the Brute Bomber's life to do it. Because injecting himself with multiple feral souls would not just speed up the psychonecrosis, it will in fact turn him into an abomination, which is a death sentence. But as Metem points out, there is no other way to the top of the championship, and even if it don't show up, the Brute Bomber would just inject his souls and come after us. So we are forced to fight him. As we arrive, we watch as the bomber injects himself with the souls, and his body twists and morphs into a monstrosity. The fight that follows is brutal, and when it ends, the Brute Bomber does not turn back into himself. Instead, he dies there on the field as this new creation of horror. The Howling Blade comes over to say his goodbye to his friend, and admits that he overheard our warning about psychonecrosis, and tells us that he has been dealing with the same symptoms as his friend for some time now. But no matter what, he is not willing to retire. He has made his choice to fall to the illness one day, so he can stay in the ring. It's being the only job he feels he can do. And till he passes, he plans to take care of the Brute Bomber's kittens. But his death is not something we can accept. So the question ends up being, how do we stop it? As we take a short break before our final cruiserweight match, we are contacted by Eutrope. She tries to fight us again, but this time Jana takes her on in her own feral form, tipping herself over into psychonecrosis. Eutrope finally tells us the truth. She is not trying to just save herself, but all of the fighters in the heavyweight division, and the man she loves, the Howling Blade. Apparently, all the fighters of the highest tier are fully loyal to the President, and all of them seem to be ill already. So, to save her friend, she left to find a cure, and that is why she is so desperate for her soul. And now, with her fighting, she has just added Jana to the list of people she needs to save. But before Eutrope can attack us again, Naomi speaks up. She believes she has found a treatment for the illness, one that does not require our soul. Something called the regeneration factor. This is the natural healing ability of all beings. But in the past, the scientists of Lindblom developed a stimulant to enhance this ability. But at the moment, we don't know the exact formula, so Jana convinces Eutrope to join us in seeking this cure, while we have to make our way to the top. Which means we have to fight the Howling Blade, but he also refuses to retire. So we gotta use the performance and showmanship of this championship against him and the president. We get Honey to live stream as we go challenge the Howling Blade to a title match with an extra wager. The one who loses the match will immediately retire from the Arcadian. With us broadcasting the challenge live, it means the president can't force us to back out. As to the public, this looks like part of the show. So we have effectively tied the hands of both the president and the Howling Blade with one single livestream. And so the title match happens. The Howling Blade takes us on with all his ferocity, but he still loses. Being now forced to retire, we convince him to join us to help work on the cure. Now no longer the Howling Blade, he is just Retsara, a friend and someone who really cares about Eutrope. So we return with him and Jana to the gym, only to learn that both Neoni and Eutrope have gone missing. The nearby TV sputters to life with a message from the president. To prevent any more creative liberties on our part, he has taken both Eutrope and Neoni into his care until the end of the tournament. And he also tells us he knows where the cure is. Apparently it is named the Drop of Life. And if we want it, we must play the game as the president intends. If we become Grand Champion, we will get all the souls and the location of this Drop of Life mixture. And with that, we have to wait for patch 7.4 and the final part of the Arcadian, where we will hopefully save Eutrope and Neoni, cure all the champions, release the souls, and maybe get to see who this president is at last. But that's for the future. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to give this video a commendation by liking and subscribing. But in the end, all I want to say is takk fyrir að horfa og eigðu yndislegan dag.